I got my hands on a Boeing 777 display brightness panel straight out of the real aircraft. Today we're going to look at how I hook it up to my simulator and make it work with Microsoft Flight Simulator. The panel lives right behind the throttle quadrant and in between the two flight management computers. It will allow me to control both the upper and lower display units in the aircraft. To save some time, I pre-wired this panel. If you don't have a wiring diagram, you can use a multimeter on continuity mode, put one end on the back of the switch and one end on the pins until you find what pin it is. Also, if there are not a lot of switches on the panel, oftentimes you can just carefully trace back that wire until you find where it's going in on the back of the Canon plug. The wire I use is called DuPont wires. I'll drop a link down in the description. The female end of the wires fits very well over the pins on the back of the Canon plug connectors. I would highly recommend, though, a process I call pre-stretching. Pre-stretching, if you try to force this onto the pin without pre-stretching it, there is a small likelihood that you'll break the pin. So I either find a pin that I'm not going to need at all, or I've got a spare panel that's just a jump panel, and I use that to just kind of stretch the pin just slightly, and then it pops on and pops off perfectly. I use different colors, like red for instance, 24 volts, 28 volts. White's typically my 5 volts, and then that way I have a system and I know what wire is which. And then on the ends, we just placed labels so that I know exactly which switch it's going to and what pin on that switch. This is our completed design coming off the printer. For some reason, it reminds me of the Starship Enterprise, but we're going to go ahead and try it and see how it fits. It's designed with these channels to just kind of lay right down on top, sink in. So we've got good clearance here because this is right up against another panel. If I flip this over, we've got good fitment there. That's going to be perfect. The board that I'll be using for today's conversion is known as serial bytes. These are boards that I designed, and what I'm really excited about is the use of power over Ethernet. So with one Ethernet cable, I'll get 24 volts, 5 volts, and if I need it, 3.3 volts. I'll have one board per panel so that my entire simulator, all the panels are standardized, and the wiring is super clean. Now, if you choose, you can use interfaces like Arduino. The concept remains similar, but what we're going to do, we're going to mount this board directly to the back of the panel, and then we're going to get it wired. We are done. Straight out of the real Boeing 777 aircraft and rewired to work with Microsoft Flight Simulator. Using the serial bytes card, single Ethernet connector, no external power needed. But the coolest thing about this conversion is it was completely non-destructive. What do I mean? It means I can literally take these wires off, remove this board, put it back in the real aircraft, and it would work. So now's for the fun part. I'm going to take this, put it back in the simulator. Got some software configuration to do to get it working with the actual flight software, and then we'll be ready to go flying. just finished up another great installation. I'm super excited and ready to go flying. If you want to see more information on upcoming updates to my 777 simulator and how I built it, be sure to like and subscribe. In the meantime, Captain Prather, Swag Air. We'll see you in the skies.